to see you. Say hi. How are you? How's it going? How was your 4th of July? What did you guys do? So, today we're going to be talking about the 14 best ways to boost awareness today. Um, because it's extremely important. Otherwise, I'm not going to be talking about something that's not important, right? And of course, it's about branding because what is branding and why should you pay attention, right? So if you are here is because you definitely are interested in finding ways to boost awareness for your brand, for your company. Your company is your brand. And so today we're going to be talking about that. Um, so thank you so much for coming on here. And I hope that you love what I have to say. Okay, so let's go ahead and start right away. So I know that most people would quickly identify Disney's opening theme song or the phrase just do it. But why? It's simply brand recognition that gives the ability for people to actually identify your brand through sensory cues. And so a jingle, an audio cue, a tagline, a smell, a spark of an image, like it's an image is going to spark something in your mind that reminds you of that brand. And so that is what brand awareness is. And so there's 4 different levels of awareness. And so I want to go dive deep into that. So immediately, what you want to know is that the first part is for the memory level is actually brand awareness. It is the when a brand actually is aware of, like when your company, your goodness, when your audience is aware of a brand, but not necessarily do they know who you are or like exactly what you do. They just know that they recognize you, um, you know, passing through. They don't know exactly everything. And so the next level is actually brand recognition. And so brand recognition is you have an awareness of the brand exists before you can recognize it. Like you first have to be aware of a brand before you can actually recognize the brand. So recognition is the second level. And the third level is brand recall. And you have to recognize the brand first before you can recall it, right? So like a lot of the times is like when you think about, let's say if you say cola, you automatically understand or think about Coca-Cola or Pepsi. So you're recalling. That's the third level of memory level branding. And the fourth one is actually brand salience, which is when a brand is present in the mind of the customer, of your audience, in the buying decision. So it's very high chance that they're going to purchase. And so that is the 4 levels of brand awareness. And a lot of people don't really understand that there's levels to this stuff, because that is where your customer is in the level of like where are they in the sales process. But they have to first be aware to then recognize, right? Because they can't recognize if they're not aware. So, and then the third one is to recall, like when they recall you. And then once they go ahead and realize that you are now present in the buying decision area. So, I'm going to go ahead and give you the 14 strategies for building brand awareness. And number 1, this is the biggest, I say this is one of the biggest ones. This is what we do in workshops, like when we go into a brand refresh, and we help clients and brands that have already been out and they have a few years with having a company, but they recognize that they don't have probably the best brand. And there could be some tweakings, and there definitely needs to be a refresh. And so the number 1 is know your audience. So casting a wide net won't get you any more recognition than focusing on a strategic, defined audience. And I know what you're thinking. Because the problem is that most people think that, a wider like a wider net that you cast is better. But in reality, that's not true. It's actually opposite. Okay. And the reason for that is because you are actually honing in on a segment of the market. You're actually going to go ahead and put all your attention to one area of the market. You're not trying to spread yourself thin, which a lot of people try to do, like sometimes like marketing agencies or digital agencies. And so like we don't do digital agency. We're not all of it. We do branding. And so we have what? A segment of that market, and we do it well. We do conceptual work, which is higher level work. It takes also a lot longer to do, but it's actually what gives you clear clarity on your audience, right? So you actually come out with an audience, like you come out with who do you speak to, you know how, what voice you're going to have, you know what personality you're going to do, all these things that you really need to be able to be specific and laser focus, because that's what's going to attract them, right? So the next one is define a clear brand awareness goal. And so you want to go ahead and have like set benchmarks and track the progress regularly. Like you want to do monthly, quarterly, and yearly if you can. I'm actually building right now a spreadsheet on this part for the reasons that I want to go ahead and give it as a lead magnet. Go ahead and give it as a freebie if you don't know what a lead magnet is. And the reason that we want to give it as a lead magnet is because I think a lot of people need it. And it's actually extremely important to track your goals. And it's important to see where your brand is, because there are benchmarks that you can track to be able to see how are you doing. Like, are you having a high follower count? Are you having engagement? And yes, it can become vanity metrics, but there still has to be a clear path on how you are going to be engaging with customers. So you need to be able to see what is being done. If you see that your engagement is lowering and your website traffic is lowering, or you see that it's not growing as fast, so there might be that you need a brand refresh, or you need to go ahead and hire a branding agency to be able to tell you how to go ahead about this. And so normally we tell clients to go ahead and start, we call them KPIs, and it's to measure your the awareness of your customers, and how when do they convert, how much of a percentage are followers converting. So some of these things you want to go ahead and keep track, because brand awareness actually matters. So 3, share your differences. So we all know that no one likes to go ahead and talk about their differences. Why? And I think it has to do because we're scared that we're going to be knocked down, that we're going to be made a fool, or that, people are going to make you feel small. But at the end, you know what? Like, you have to go ahead and be who you're meant to be, especially with your values. Like, as a brand, you have values and you have things that you stand for. And your company has to be inside and outside, has to equal that. Like, it has to show that. Like, for us, we're Christians. Everyone that knows us knows that. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm going to go ahead and stuff Jesus down your throat, right? Because that's not who I am. And I'm extremely loving, and I love what I do. Like, I love helping people. But like, what are our values? We value high quality. We value truth. We value, being honest with the client at all times. If we don't know something, I'm going to tell you. Like, I don't know. I have to go research that. I haven't done that. You know what? Let's go ahead and find out. So it doesn't mean that doesn't that equals to me not having value on what I offer you, because it doesn't. I'm giving you a service. I'm going to go ahead and look for it. I'm going to go ahead and get the market research that's needed for you, right? So it doesn't mean that you can't say what you stand for, and you can't say who you are, because at the end, like, for me, it matters that I am, that I believe in God and that I have a relationship with God. For me, that is how all my values come from. Like, does it mean that I'm going to go ahead and go like do certain things that maybe some other people like, condemn people? No, like that to me is religion, and I don't believe in religion. I believe in having a relationship. So that's like that influences my brand. Why does it influence? It influences 28 Lions because 28 Lions was actually came out of a prayer. Like it literally came out of a prayer. And so for me to lie and to say that, oh, we just came up with it. No, it wasn't that. It came out of a prayer that we had, that we asked God to show us, where are we going? Where do we need to do? And so 28 Lions name and icon came out of a prayer that we saw God show us. And so me and Nicole are, that's who we are. Am I going to go ahead and, ask you to pray in our session? No, but it does influence how we work with other people. Number 4, use content marketing to provide valuable resources. And so brand awareness is about being memorable and staying on your audience's mind. So use content strategy to turn yourself into a give to source, right, of knowledge for your industry. Um, and the reason that you want to do that is because I think a lot of the times we just want to like throw stuff out there without having any purpose or strategy. And what we've learned along the way is that we didn't start with a social media strategy. Like we didn't have one. That's the truth, because social media is not branding, right? Social media is part of marketing. And so we were, like I said, we were niched to branding, and that's where we're experts. But we had to learn how to be experts in marketing, because at the end, for us to market our own agency, we've had to learn this part. And so it's been a journey of 2 years learning how to market ourselves and then learning how to have a framework. We currently just did our own framework like in the last 2 weeks, because we had someone else's framework. We had our coaches. And so the reason that we changed from that was because it wasn't serving us anymore. We're looking for, like, when you're starting off, you do need some type of templated, but then you want, like, we didn't know anyone that knew how to do frameworks. And so we had to learn and we had to see what would benefit us. And so in the last 2 weeks, we've actually done that. We're actually going and starting to implement that next week, I believe. Onto, it's like we have 3 months worth, probably more, of social media. Anyways, so you want to go ahead and be the go-to person, the source for your industry. Why? Because it actually establishes authority and builds your audience of loyal followers. And so these are potential clients. So you has to benefit them. Um, Another important aspect is going ahead and sharing selflessly. Share, like share because it's caring. You care for your audience. Like, I care about you guys. Like, I come on here and I share all this information with you. Why? Because I want you to be successful. Like, you don't even need to pay us for me to be able to give you, strategies. Like, this is strategy right here. But I think a lot of people think that it's free, so it's not, strategic. But at the end, these are things that are going to help you move your business forward. That's going to help you, laser focus on your business and your brand. So go ahead and share away, be selfless about it. And so you want to go ahead and try to make sure that you have a strategy that is to organically grow. And you can do paid traffic as well, but I would say to first focus on organic marketing, because the fact is that if you do not know how to market yourself organically and bring in leads, then your paid traffic might not do so well, because at the end, it's about messaging, it's about a voice, it's about personality and how you show yourself through an ad. And if you have not honed down on those skills, I would first say go and try organic. And yes, it's a slower build, but at the same time, brand awareness is long term. Direct marketing is short term, right? So it's you turn and you can turn a follower into a lead immediately through paid ads and stuff like that. But organic marketing is more the long game. It is brand awareness in the long term, and that actually is stronger than short-term direct marketing. A lot of people don't know that. Number 5, partner with other brands. So when you partner with other brands, it actually just you're able to go ahead and like mix and mingle with other audiences that they might have not heard of you. And not only are you bringing value to them, but you're bringing value to that other brand. Like you're giving them, something extremely valuable by going and giving a class, giving some type of resource, speaking about what you do. And that also goes ahead and puts you as an influencer, right? Number 6, show a human face. So a lot of people I've heard about this because I see you guys and girls. I see you guys like going ahead and like, no, I don't want to show my face. Oh my God. Like, what are people going to think? Oh my God, I'm not perfect. Oh my God, my hair's a mess because I have children. Oh my God, I cannot even come out of pajamas. And you know what? At the end, you're never going to be perfect. And if at this time you have to do what you can do, go for it. Show your face. People want to have a human experience with you. They want to see your character. They want to see your smile. They want to see when you are, having your moments. Why? Because we are imperfect and we're humans, and humanizing a brand is important. Otherwise, it's very stale, and it's like you really can't connect with that person, with that company. And at the end, the whole point is that big brands do everything they can, like different types of campaigns to humanize their brands. Why? Because it's not one person, right? And if you start getting bigger, you have more, employees. You're not no longer the face of the company. The company has to withstand on its own. So you want to humanize that experience. But meanwhile, you can show your face and be part of that. So go ahead and just engage with people. Go ahead and, show yourself. I mean, look at Steve Jobs. He was the face of Apple. He made Apple, but Apple can stand on its own because it built not only did he build a personal brand, as in he was a personal brand himself, but he was also the face and back of Apple, and it grew immensely. Look at what Apple is today. And its brand on its own is over $236 billion. That's the brand, like the brand itself, not the company, like the brand awareness, the brand level, like on its own, that's an asset. And I think a lot of people don't fully understand that yet, especially when you're first starting the first few years. Number 7, use brand storytelling. And the reason that you want to tell a story is because it actually helps people connect. And we love stories. Like, we love stories. Like, someone starts telling a story and you're like, wait, I got to listen to this. And it just catches our attention. It's easier telling a story than going ahead and answering like questions on Instagram. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that, like, oh, like people give you prompts or whatever for Instagram or Facebook, and they'll tell you, okay, well, talk about your why. And so someone will go, well, my why is this, but they don't really tell a story. Like, what is the story in back of your why? Like, how did you come up with that? Like, where did it all start? Like, if you go check our why, we actually posted it just last week, I believe. We talked about how did we come to be, this was our why, and how did it happen? Like, I went looking online for help to build a brand. I just didn't know it was called a brand at the time, because I came from more like a brick and mortar type of running businesses. I was an accountant for 20 years, and I had never heard of online businesses. So I actually started my first online business. And I don't even call it an online business. It's more like a business that was by word of mouth. And that's how it's functioned for the last year. I left my job and I literally got into a call center, and I bought a call center. And God led the way on that one, because I knew nothing about customer service, but I actually have Fortune 500 companies that I give jobs to customer service agents. Anyone that's looking for a job, it's a low paying job. It's for someone that just wants a little bit extra money. It's nothing that they pay big. but it helped tons and tons of moms. And so it was a blessing, and people were blessed by it, and they would tell me, I'm so thankful for this job. And so it was like a little side job that people do. I still have the call center. I still work it. I still have that business. I was even thinking about closing it because, I'm doing 28 lines, and 28 lines takes a lot of my time. But at the end, that is my first business. My second business I still have it open. It's a therapy practice on touch and helping people that come from outside of trauma. And they've pretty much recovered of trauma, but they're looking to go ahead and have more touch. How do I do that? Like, I still have some triggers. Like, I really want to work through this. And so I wanted to go ahead and put it online. I wanted to market it, but I didn't know how to. So Nicole was a friend, and I reached out to her and I said, hey, I need some help with some graphic designing. And she's like, I can help you with the graphic designing, but I cannot help you with strategy. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean strategy? And she was like, do you think that is just like a logo that you want and that's it? And I was like, I don't know. She's like, I've been doing this for 20 years and you need strategy. And I'm not a strategist. And I was like, oh my God, like, I need help though. She's like, I suggest you start looking here. And so I started learning and getting certified and looking into reading and getting into strategy. And I realized as soon as she was helping me with my website, I knew, like, I couldn't even write. I couldn't even say what I needed to say. I could look at a website and I knew that it was amazing. And what I was creating was crap. That's the honest truth. Because I didn't have any strategy. I sucked at writing. I sucked at even speaking. Like, you see me speaking on here right now and you're like, but you're doing just fine. I would stutter. I couldn't even speak in front of people. I was an accountant, and accountants don't talk much. I mean, if you're an accountant, you know this. Doesn't mean that you are not outgoing and that you have no friends or any of that stuff and they're stuck up, right? Because that's what people think about accountants and bookkeepers. But the reality is that I was more quiet, and I don't know, it didn't go. Anyways, the fact is that it's all worked out. In 2 years, I've grown immensely. God has really blessed me and Nicole. And when Nicole told me about this, that her heart's desire was to open an agency, I was like, in the future, we will. You'll see. And I just didn't think it was going to be so quick. I thought maybe years later, as I learned, but it's like I went through an accelerated time or season in my life that it was just night and day, studying and studying and studying. I still night and day study. I love what I do. I love branding. I love marketing. So these are things that just flourished. Anyway, so that's part of our why. So storytelling, like I'm telling right now, is captivating because it brings you in, it makes you connect, part of my story, and you've been there in some way, some sense, So, and it doesn't matter that it might be small, but it helps. It really does help us find meaning. And then number 8, invest in marketing. And so it's never been this accessible to go ahead and be able to market yourself. Like, it's an advantage that we have now. Can you imagine 10, 15 years ago, you didn't have the accessibility that you have now. Also, like, the accessibility of having a lower price, like, because people still think that we charge, it's a high level ticket item. But at the same time, we actually don't charge that much compared to like how brand strategists before in brick and mortars would do. Like for a refresh is 5,700, which isn't a lot because we go into weeks and we actually sit with you, do workshops with you. We hone down on your audience. We have to make sure your voice is correct. We got to make sure that we get, keywords and phrases. We got to make sure that we we do market research on your competitors. We got to find out how to position you in your industry. We got to make sure that your visuals are going to align with all that. Like, there's a ton of work that goes into it. So that's actually not a lot. It's actually really inexpensive. So, social media marketing is a powerful tool to reach broad audiences nowadays. So, use it. Email marketing also helps you and it fosters engagement. And it connects with users regularly because at the end, email marketing is different than social media. Social media is more for like people that are aware of you, right? And you're going through the levels of awareness and recognition and recall. But at the end, your email marketing is more for people that have already connected with you and they say, you know what, here's my email. I wanted to connect with you. And so you have the availability to actually reach them better because you're going into their inbox, which social media, as we know, algorithms can be really crazy. Do you still need to do it? Yes. Social media is a great lead magnet, like just bringing in the leads. And it's all organic. The other thing is SEO. It makes it easy for people to find you and learn from you. Like when we do websites, some people at the beginning were like, well, I don't really want SEO. And it's like, no one's going to find you. Like, you need SEO. Otherwise, like, how are they going to find you? You need to be found. Like, you need to go ahead and connect your Google Analytics. We need to go ahead and connect, heat maps. We need to find out if people are converting, how many people are coming in. Like, we need to bring them in, right? And once they're in, we can see how it's converting or it's not. So we can go ahead and tweak. That's what we do for retainer clients. So that's important. Another thing, use paid media once you have your organic marketing done, because it can increase brand awareness. I think a lot of people want to use it more for like turning clients, turning potential into clients, but it can also be for brand awareness, which that's what a lot of big brands do, like Coca-Cola. They're not, they're just making sure that they're staying in front, of the consumer's mind and that you're not forgetting them. So that's one thing. 10, launch a referral program. So launching a referral program gives you the ability of getting clients from previous clients or from a colleague, or maybe you're even your family or friends. And you can do a finder's fee. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it can bring you new business. Like if you guys sent me someone, we can talk about a finder's fee. Why? Because I know the value of that and it gives you an incentive, right? So it's helpful. 11, encourage sharing and brand advocacy. So word of mouth is one of the most powerful forms of marketing. 83% of marketers using it in their strategy to increase brand awareness. Like it goes, like it's the most powerful. Like you want to go ahead and use it. You want to, and it's an easy way to tap into the power of word of mouth. Because it actually goes ahead and it creates high value content, that's easy to share. Make sure you have blog posts, infographic, podcast episodes. You don't have to do the podcast. You can be just a guest. I've never done a podcast, but I've actually spoken in other platforms, and that does bring awareness. We do YouTube videos currently, like this is going live on YouTube. We have it on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook on our business page and my personal page and on our group. Sometimes I go just on my group and I give them a little bit more value because I feel like, if you're in my group, I want to give you more. I also want to encourage you. So I do post certain things in there that I don't post in my public group, Facebook. Anyways, 12, promote a tagline. So this is one that's actually really underused. Like in our brand package, we don't do, as a main, like part of the main package, we don't do a tagline because most people don't think it's valuable. But it actually has a lot of value. So, some of the famous ones, just do it. That's a tagline. I'm loving it. right? That's a tagline. Like you recognize these taglines and they start getting catchy. It supports a memorable brand. So that's another one. 13, align with industry experts. Get with other experts um, that are similar to you. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it can be someone like close to your industry on things that you might want to partner. If you ever want like for us to go ahead and do a class for your one of your groups, we would be more than happy to help you and give them value. Why? Because not only does it help me bring more awareness to my brand, it actually helps your brand as well. So it's a win-win situation. So you get expertise, and like we would love to do like partnerships, like you can come to ours. So that's the same thing. And then number 14, establish a cohesive brand presence. This one is crucial for success branding. It is like if you don't have a cohesive brand, it's going to be hard to raise awareness and earn recognition. And so you want to go ahead and make sure that you are cohesive and you are consistent. It is key. So every element of your brand has the potential to create a memory hook, from your logo to colors to typography to images, illustration, jingles, and the list goes on. And so like at the beginning, we do a brand strategy, that, main package. And then what we do is like for retainer, we go ahead and start adding all the other stuff, because you're going to need all this other support. So it's like you start going into, okay, well, now I need this illustration. We need to go ahead and do a tagline. We need to go ahead and maybe I have courses. I need stuff for my courses. We need to brand that. I need to go ahead and have a Facebook banner for my personal page, for my business page. I need it for LinkedIn. I need it for Instagram. And you start adding, I need social media graphics. And so those are things that we start implementing with Retainer. Anyways, these are some of the things that we think that will bring brand recognition, and it's because it really does make a difference. So, wow, that was a lot. 32 minutes. Woo! I feel like I just ran a marathon. But I want it to be quick, fast, and be able to give you the exact information, because why? I don't want to go ahead and keep you on here like giving you fluff, but there's a ton of information to give. And obviously, I give a topic every week. We're actually going to change it. I'm actually going to stop doing it weekly. I'm going to start doing it every 2 weeks because of our framework. Since we changed our framework, we are now going to be doing every 2 weeks, because the algorithms to Facebook have changed, even for Instagram. And so engagement is slower now. So you have even more to be consistent. This is why you have to be consistent, because it's even harder to keep the algorithm happy. And for us, it's extremely important to nurture our audience. Why? Because it makes a difference. You get value, we get value. We also want to be able to bring brand awareness. And so being able to just do weekly on one topic doesn't really help you or help us, because you don't see everything. And so we feel like we want to be able to go ahead and give you from all points on this topic. We're going to be talking about this, and we're going to be going into it. I'm also going to start doing more reels. Like if you're on Instagram and you're not part of my Instagram, go to 28 Lions Inc. INC. And I'm actually doing a lot more reels there than here. It's really difficult to do reels on Facebook. They're changing it. And I believe by the next 2 weeks, they should be adding more features on Facebook for reels. But reels on Facebook are only 30 seconds. So if I am giving high value on Instagram, I can't bring it over here. So it sucks. Even though they're the same company, I'm guessing the structure of the app, of the hardware, whatever goes in the background um for Facebook and Instagram are not the same. So they can't go ahead and give you, now you have 90 seconds on Instagram, but you only have 30 seconds on Reels on Facebook. And that's a problem because at the end, you can't repurpose the information you have on Instagram on Facebook. So it's really hard for me to do like long form, like 90 seconds or let's say a minute, because sometimes it's a minute. I give information on my reels. I can't transfer it here. Like I would have to do more like the quirky stuff, or when it's more like inspirational, that's really short, less than 30 seconds. But I can't really give the valuable stuff that I'm giving on Instagram. So go ahead and follow us there. Guys, that's it for today. I don't know if you guys had any questions. I didn't see any. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them later. Or if someone has something right now, I'll go ahead and look. But I don't see anything. How come my Facebook is not showing on? Oh, yes, it is. Okay. I don't see anything from you guys. So I am going to go ahead and close this live. I hope it's valuable. Let me know if this was valuable. If you need more information, I'm more than happy to give it to you. Bye. Have a great day. And I'll see you not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday following, same time, which is 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Have a great day.